How you doing, everybody? Before we even start, get your cup. I got mine. Come on. Okay. As you know, I watch Fox. And I watch all the others too, and I really enjoy more than Fox. Because Fox now is kind of irritating, so I don't watch it very much. But I do watch the others. There's a few of them I watch. Which ones I watch, I don't think it really matters. But so everything on Joe Biden is a nightmare. Do I like Joe Biden? No, not one thing. I don't think he's ever done anything good for this country. He's from a small state, Massachusetts or Delaware. It's up in the corner. So, and he's just been a nightmare. He's been a nightmare. When he was in office with Obama for 8 years, he done nothing. He was called the sleeping vice president, and now he's a sleeping president. I don't know how he pulled this off. I know it took a lot of money, and that's why the Democrats are doing all these stimulus packages and all this stuff. And the first word they say is, "This is because of the COVID." It's an excuse just to where everybody, oh, this is gonna, no, that's the cover up. The COVID word is created by the United States, and I won't go into that. It's stupid, but so. This right now is the Democrats got to pay back all this money that they promised, because if you help me get Joe Biden in, you're gonna get some stuff. We're gonna give you a lot of stuff. And so now it's payback time. So when you make stimuluses and you get $5 trillion, what is it to hide $100 million? $100 million. It's almost like me opening my wallet and grabbing a buck out and saying, just throwing it. Who cares where it lands? It's only $1. So, all the people that I promised you a new park, I promised you a house, I promised you this, now it's time to pay the dues. And they are. And my great grandkids is Bill. They have to pay it back, not me. I'm too old. And I know what you're it's $3.50, but when I think when I bought diesel fuel the other day, I paid $3.28 in Ohio, but Indiana was $3.83, almost $3.84 per gallon of diesel fuel, which is extremely non-profitable for me. And if you think about it, if you pay $3.80, I normally put 100 gallons of fuel in my truck per day, because that's what I use. So it cost me $385 to do a $700 load. Think about that. Now, I know a lot of you thinking, you made some money. No. The truck clears that money, and then I go and I tell my truck, dude, you need to pay me for doing this run. I need $200. My truck says, screw you. I'll give you 50 is all I can give you. $50 a day times 5 is $250. What? Don't sound like a very good deal. But on my truck's person, and I'm speaking for my truck, but I don't control my truck's cost. It does. My plate cost me a little over $2,000 last year. So my truck says every day that you work, I need some money put back for that plate. Then I have $400 in oil changes per month, because you got to change them every month. Then you got to put back funds for tires. You have 10 tires that are wearing out. They'll last 2 years if you're lucky. Now, I'm already on my second year with my tires. A pair of steering tires is about $1,100. And then you got 8 other tires that will roughly cost you $5,000. if you can find a good deal. But every time that that truck's rolling, it's eating rubber off your truck. Because when you turn with that, it tears rubber off those tires a little at a time, especially if you have a load on. So if you think about it, where's the money at? I wish somebody would tell me. I don't see it. So everything that Biden has done, and this is why Biden is so important here, everything that Biden done since he's been in office is reverse Trump stuff. Now, if Biden was reversing Trump stuff because Trump was an idiot and the stuff that he did is causing everything to go up, I'm all for that. But that's not true. Everything that Trump did made my life easier. The cost of diesel fuel was almost down to $2. And now it's right at $4. And then there's all kinds of regulations that's going on with that too. My wife told me yesterday, she goes, you know, of course, that lights and gas, they've came out with numbers saying that it's going to increase 25 to 50% or 30% or something. I don't know how much for lights and gas. And I see to where insurance companies like Progressive, which I have, is starting to tell people, hey, are you ready to get a quote for that $2 million insurance? I am. I'm ready for that quote. As soon as there's a mandate to where I have to have $2 million, here's the keys to my truck. I quit. I'm not paying for a $2 million insurance policy on my truck. And if all you other truckers do, you're stupid as hell. Now, the people who could afford to do that is the J.B. Hunts, the Swifts, the Werners, all those guys that pay that are self-insured can do it. They could say, "Oh shit, yeah, we'll do $5 million. I don't care," because all they do is they take a bunch of money, they throw it in an account, and they say, "Okay, let's keep $20 million in case we have some accidents to where it's got to pay out that much money." And then they charge their owner-operators for insurance or whatever they do, and they charge them almost the normal fee. But they're not paying that money out to anybody because they're covering the small shit because they're self-insured. So they're not like me. I got to pay $1,300 a month to Progressive for one freaking truck. They got 5,000 trucks or 50,000 trucks, but they're not paying any insurance company because they have it covered. Or they have a binder to where if an accident is over $1 million, they have a writer company that picks up that insurance. I don't know how they do theirs, but I know that this is screwed up. So you put that to $2,000, and I know they've already approved it. And I'm sure that when that is done, a lot of small guys will definitely not be able to do this. It's a shame that it's coming this way. I mean, you hear the big cry out there for we can't get truckers. Who in their right mind would want to be a trucker? You make less money than anybody. Now, if you work as a company driver, I guess you could probably make $1,200 a week gross. And that sounds like a lot of money to some, maybe. But let me tell you something. You're eating 3 meals a day out there. And you're gone 2-3 months at a time, or at least a month at a time, or 3 weeks, or whatever. I don't know how most companies say, we'll have you home every weekend or every other weekend. That's a freaking lie. But, so figure every meal is $15. I know. I can go buy bologna and cheese and a bag of chips and get me a loaf of bread and eat for a couple of days. Go ahead. Try that. See how you do. And then plus, I mean, pop and other stuff that are coffees or whatever you want, That's an expense. That's a huge expense. Can be. So I mean, so, and I don't know if you could write any of that off as a company driver. So you're kind of screwed with that money. So when you think you're getting $1,000, you're probably going to be 1,000 minus 200 of it, unless you're a bird and you eat $5 a day. I don't see how you can possibly go that long, because what's going to happen is a lot of times when you do eat, you're hungry and you're tired, and as soon as you eat, you go to sleep. I gotta go because the cops are coming to get me. Damn, Biden turned me in. I'll be right back. So the bottom line is, trucker, no. McDonald's employee, yes. Don't be a trucker. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to ruin your family, your home life, because you're not going to have any of that. And then you're going to be worried all the time is who's at your house drinking your beer when you're not there. And your wife is going to be thinking, who are you drinking beer with when she's at home? And then plus she's going to be saying, I'm stuck here with these frickin' kids, and you're out joyriding in a frickin' truck, because that's how they think. So think about that. But that's how Biden affects me. That's why every time you see a video of me and I'm talking about Biden, it's because everything he does or any president does, if it affects the economy in any way or form, it affects me, the trucker. And I don't care how you view a trucker. A trucker is your God. You need to worship him. The only reason I say that is because every single thing you do rides on a truck. Every place, anything, everything that you do in your life, a trucker has touched it. So if a trucker rates go higher, you, the consumer, including the trucker, is going to pay more. And it's not a little money, because it'd be just like this little box. It's got 25 different things in it. If you raise the price of inflation by 5% or 3%, which is not too much, 3%, and it's 25 things times 3% increase. And then you got to charge 3% more for that box. So it's a huge snowball. It's not, oh shit, it's going to be 3%. No, it's 3% on every little item. So it doesn't come down to it's just 3% interest on one thing or two things, or bread or milk. It's 3% on everything. Who makes the milk? A cow. What does the cow eat? Grass. Who plants that grass? A farmer. And what does he plant it with? A diesel tractor that's paying $4 for diesel fuel, and his mileage is real bad. And then from milk you make cheese, and every other stupid thing. All your beef's going to increase, because, you know what I'm saying, how big of a snowball this really is? That's why a lot of people say, shut up, I'm tired of hearing you bitch about Biden. It's not Biden, it's the Democrat Party that's killing this country, and this is one of the reasons. And this is how it affects somebody. It affects me. I don't care about you guys. That's not true, I care. But if I'm not making money, that means all the truckers ain't making no money, except for the real big guys. And I'm pretty sure that they're not making as much as you think they probably are, because I see trucks and trailers and freight in the ditches all the time, and the winter ain't even here yet, so that's going to be fun. So you think you ain't got no truckers now? Let's wait until middle of October or beginning of November, when the snow hits the ground and it gets cold out. These amateur drivers that we got today, they blow out. The first real cold snap, they're wrecking shit everywhere. So just think about it. I mean, I'm tired of keep ringing your ear with Biden, but it doesn't affect just Jim Baroni. It affects all you people. Anybody who's watching this video and people that ain't even watching this video. It's affecting you. On that note, I'm tired. I wasted all your time. But I love you. Later.